Now for eye primer, I generally just use concealer on my eyes and then I tend to do an eye look. Most of the time I will use concealer like for every day or going to work. However, when I do want an eye that I want to make sure that it's going to last for over 8 hours, we're talking 10, 11, 12, 13-hour days, I want it to last, I don't want it to crease, I want the colors to look beautiful, I will use my NARS Pro Prime Smudge Proof Eyeshadow Base. I have loved this so much to the point where I haven't bought any other eyeshadow primer. I've only bought this now twice in a row. I haven't tried anything else. And that's why I don't have a second place or a third place for you. I just have the winner, which is NARS. It works beautifully for me. I think now that I have a YouTube channel, I probably should try other primers. And once I run out of this, I will do so. Now let's move on to brows. So I also don't have a second or third place for an eyebrow pencil because the one I always go back to and I love is the Benefit Precisely My Brow Eye Pencil in shade 6. This shade is fantastic. I'm just gonna swatch it for you guys. It has this ashy, dark brown, almost black shade right there. It's beautiful. It works perfectly for my dark brows. It fills it in. I can smudge it out easily. It also comes with a spoolie at the end. It's just perfect. I haven't found any other eyebrow pencil so far that I like better than this. So this is my overall winner, hands down. No battle, no questions asked. Then for eyebrow gels, I do have a few favorites. Now in third place is Anastasia Beverly Hills Tinted Brow Gel. So I have a little tiny sample of this and I love it. I've been really enjoying this brow gel. It is so easy to use. It's not super pigmented. So when I want a softer brow or a quick brow for work, I use this and it's been fantastic. I am going to get the full size. I've been using, this is a shade medium brown and it does give me a very soft eyebrow look. I haven't used it today and I've been really enjoying it. It works. Now in second place, I have the Benefit 24-Hour Brow Setter. This is a clear brow gel and it really sets unruly brows. So when I have brows that are going all over the place and if I want to set them a certain way, this is the way to go. It really holds those brows in place and it's clear. So it's just very, very easy to use. And for first place, I have MAC Fibre Boost Eyebrow Gel. I've got the shade Stud, which is the darkest of the shade. That's what I've got on my eyebrows today and I love it. It just makes my eyebrows super dark very quickly. It also gives them a lot of volume so they look very fluffy and it is a fantastic product. Will always repurchase this. Okay, next up we have black eye pencil. So I feel like black eye pencil definitely needs to be in its own category. Now in third place I have NARS Longwear Eye Pencil. This is beautiful, it's creamy and it's very black. I love using this. Unfortunately, this one that I've got right now is way too old now, so this needs to go, but a beautiful eye pencil to use. Now in second place, I have the Marc Jacobs Highliner Gel Crayon in the shade Blacker. This is so popular. I feel like it's a lot of people's favorites. For me, this is in second place because I've got one product that I love more than this. Now, this is black, it's creamy, it stays put. There's only one con that I have with this product, and that's the only reason why this is in second place and not in first place. And that is that sometimes it can be quite difficult to apply this on the eye. On certain eyeshadows, it will end up removing the eyeshadow or it will end up applying very unevenly and I have to work just a little bit harder to apply this. So that's the only reason why this is in second place. Now in first place though, I have Shiseido Kajal Ink Artist. This is the shade Nippon Noir, which is your black. I love this pencil. It works perfect for the waterline. It doesn't really budge. Once you apply it, it's good to go. Of course, you'll get a little bit of fading throughout the day. That's normal, but more or less this will stay put. I also really enjoy how this applies. It has a little bit of a tacky formula, so it really grips onto the eye and onto the eyeshadow. And then if you layer any other products on top, it will grip onto those as well. So a beautiful eye pencil. I will most definitely repurchase this again. Now, I decided to have a category called general eye pencil. So not black, just other eye pencils that I love to use. Now in third place, I have this time Shiseido Kajal Ink Artist. So it's the exact same that I talked about before, except these are the shades in Shiseido. So when I apply on my eye, I can use it as a one and done eyeshadow and just blend it out with a stiffer brush. So these are the two shades. The Aduki Red, of course, is this reddish one, and then this one is Tea House, and they look pretty much the same on the eye as well. Beautiful. Then the third shade in Shiseido that I picked up, that I don't use very often, but it's a beautiful deep forest green color. So this one for sure I'm gonna have to show you. So do you see how much depth it has? So this is not a green shade that is just like a light green. This is definitely a very beautiful deep forest green. It is really stunning. It's creamy. You will need a little bit of work to blend this out, but oh, it's worth it. This color is probably the best green eye pencil I've ever come across. I'm also using this in my waterline just at the bottom here. And it doesn't look too green, but it gives me that hint of green. I love it. Perfect green eye pencil for brown skin tones, because for brown skin tones, when you're looking at green eyeshadow pencils, you want one that's a very rich color, that's got a lot of depth, because that's when it's going to look the most flattering. Pretty similar to the eyeshadow I've got. I love this green because against my skin tone, it's the perfect shade. It has so much depth and richness. It's stellar. This green is a Pat McGrath eyeshadow from Pat's Mothership 2 Sublime palette. That's a palette I recently purchased on a 40% off, so I was very happy with that. And it's a gorgeous shade. So I knew that for a Christmas look, I had to use this color. No questions asked. So in second place, I have a tie. So there's two that I couldn't decide between, so I'd have a tie for second place. The first one are the Nudestick Eye Pencil. So these are the Magnetic Matte Eye Color, the shade Maroon and Cocoa. I've got another shade which is a bit more of a metallic-y bronze eye pencil. I haven't really used that one that much, but these two shades I use all the time. Now the shade Cocoa is a beautiful, rich, dark, cool brown. Right here is Cocoa. Do you see that? It is creamy, it's pigmented, it's so stunning. When I want to do a softer eye look and I want to use a brown eye pencil, I will most often just go with this because it has the pigmentation and it's also creamy, so you can really just smudge it into your eyeshadow and it looks so stunning. And then you have the shade Maroon, which is so gorgeous. Check that out. So this one all over the eye, just like a one and done eyeshadow, is simply perfection. It also stays put, it doesn't crease, very quick and easy to use, stunning. And so the tie that I have got in second place is with the Charlotte Tilbury eyeliner. So I only got one shade, which is the Walk of No Shame, and I was really impressed with this shade. This one applied so incredibly beautifully. It's creamy, and this is this shade right here. It is creamy. Do you see the intensity of that red? It's so intense, and that's how it applies on the eye as well. It's probably the most intense eyeliner that I've got in my collection. It also stays put, so it doesn't matter how long I wear this for, the color doesn't fade at all. It completely stays put. I do struggle a little bit to blend this out, but I do think that could be because of the shade that I have. This shade has a lot of red in it, and often colors like these can be a little bit difficult to blend out, but I am very much interested in getting more shades in these eyeliners. Now in first place, I have a tie again. It was just so hard to pick and I just couldn't do it. So in first place, the first tie I've got is the Laura Mercier Caviar Eye Stick. They apply very beautifully to the eye. They're super creamy, they're blendable, they're perfect for beginners. You really don't need to struggle with these. They're so effortless to use. I just really wish that Laura Mercier did more shades. She has a lot of metallic finishes in these pencils, but I really want to see more mattes and more satin finishes and more deep, darker shades. That's what I really want to see from Laura Mercier. But if she does releases more shades in these, I will pick them up. Last in this category are the MAC Kohl pencils. So these are my most used pencils. You can see like how tiny are all three of these. I use these all the time. I'm not going to say that these have the longest staying power. They will fade over the course of a day, but they're just so easy to use and so easy to blend. I love them, and the color selection is fantastic. So MAC does excellent shades. I mean, look at how tiny this one is. This is the shade Teddy, and I am almost out of it. I'm actually just trying to save this. I haven't used this because I know I'm gonna have to buy this again. This looks amazing, you guys. It is such a unique bronzy, reddish bronzy shade. Just show you. So this shade right here, see, look at that. This is Teddy. Oh my God. Whew. Speechless. That's how stunning that shade is. I'm speechless. Then we have the shade Prunella. This is not as creamy as Teddy, and of course it's purple based, that's why, but it's still a very beautiful color and smudged all over the eye. It's a great pencil for work. And lastly, I have Costa Riche. I often use this as a one and done eyeshadow color. It's also very easy to blend out. Look at that brown. It is like a really nice, rich, chocolatey brown. It's beautiful. So those were my eye pencils. Now for mascara, I have two. So in second place, I have the Dior Overshow Iconic Overcurl. What is that mascara called? I'll pop it here. I don't have it with me right now. I'm not sure exactly where it is, but that mascara is so beautiful. I bought it twice because it really holds the curl, and my eyelashes are really straight and they often even go down, like they're really weird. So when I use an eyelash curler and then I top it off with the Dior Iconic Overcurl mascara, it stays put. My curl in that lash just stays put. It's beautiful. I love it. And the formula is amazing. It gives me volume, it gives me length, it gives me a little bit of separation. Then in first place though, I have the Huda Beauty Legit Lashes Mascara. This is first place because it just gives me huge lashes. My eyelashes always just look so big when I use this mascara. It does have a downside. This is a fiber mascara, so some of you are probably not gonna like this. Also, the fibers sometimes will fall down on your cheek. Nothing too dramatic, just a little teeny tiny bit if you talk a lot or you have a lot of eye movement, that ends up happening, or if you're outside and it's extremely windy, that might happen. But other than that, this mascara is fantastic. It gives me volume, it gives me a ton of length, also gives you separation. Next, cream eyeshadows. So in third place for cream eyeshadows, I have the Stila Shimmer and Glow liquid eyeshadows. So not the glitter and glow, it's the shimmer and glow that I love. The glitter and glow is a little bit too chunky for my personal taste, and these are stunning. They also come in such a great color selection. Three shades that I absolutely love. I've got Jezebel, which is this beautiful, very high shine, metallic peachy shade. It looks stunning on my skin tone. Then I've got Twig here, which is a gorgeous reddish maroon color, and then of course the Vivid Smoky Quartz, which is my absolute favorite. It just gives you such a great, stunning, almost like a cool brown eye look. I love it. So these Stila Shimmer and Glow eyeshadows, they are relatively easy to use. I'm not going to say they're super easy to use because they do set rather quickly. So you have to be quick when applying these. In second place, I have the Natasha Denona Chromium liquid eyeshadows. These blew me away this year. They are so metallic, and the multi-chrome in these, whew, it's next level, you guys. Every time I use this, I can't stop staring at myself in the mirror because I end up just doing this motion just to see the shifts, or I'll pick up my phone and I'll go in different parts of my house and I'll see the shift. It's so entertaining. I love it. There is a learning curve with these, by the way, so when you try them out, don't give up on them too soon. I have done a whole video on them just explaining to you how best to use these and how they look on my eye. So make sure to check that out. So this one right here is ultraviolet, and then this one here is scarab. Look at that. Look at scarab. Scarab is my absolute favorite, although I really love ultraviolet as well. And just look at the shift in these. Whew, they are so stunning. I mean, look at scarab. Look at that intense green. Whew. And then if I look straight away, that then looks like a gold. It's like, where's the green? Here it is. Stunning. And now in first place for me, for cream eyeshadow, are the Tom Ford cream eyeshadows. Now, I have the shade Spice. I have been trying to find this online, but it looks like this may have been discontinued. I'm feeling extremely sad and disheartened by that. I'm really hoping this hasn't been discontinued. I really hope not, because these Tom Ford cream eyeshadows are everything I ever want in an eyeshadow. But if you can't find shade Spice, there are other shades that I could see online. So I'm definitely interested in trying more shades in this, because the formula is hands down my favorite cream eyeshadow formula that I've come across. It is, for me, worth the money. Now, eyeshadow palettes. So surprisingly, it was really easy for me to pick the 3 eyeshadow palettes. Like, there was no question in my mind. It just wasn't hard at all. So in third place, the eyeshadow palette that I've loved the most is the Natasha Denona Bronze palette. So this is a palette, of course, that came out earlier this year, and every time I've used it, I have loved the looks I've created. It's super bronzy, it's warm, it also has some cool tones right here. It's perfection. It's so beautiful. It looks great on my skin tone. The mattes are stunning, the shimmers are gorgeous. I love it. And in second place is the Natasha Denona Metropolis palette. So you guys would have heard me rave about this palette in a couple of my videos. I love this palette. It is so versatile. I've done so many different looks with this palette, even though it looks like it has a lot of similar shade, and it does, but you can definitely create lots of various different looks. They always turn out to be amazing. The formula in this is fantastic. I love the cream to powder finish. I love this sparkly shade right here. It's so beautiful. You can do greens, you can do blues, cranberries, golds, bronze, warm browns. I love it. However, in first place, which I was surprised at, I really thought I was gonna give first place to my Metropolis, but no. In first place, can you guys guess? It's the Pat McGrath Mothership Mega Celestial Divinity palette. This is it. This is everything. This is a palette that also makes me very, very happy, because all these shades in here are so pigmented. I've had so much fun using this palette, and I love that she came with 18 eyeshadows at this price point. It's totally worth it, in my opinion. If you haven't gotten a hold of this palette and you're thinking that you want to try Pat McGrath and you haven't tried Pat McGrath eyeshadows before, I highly recommend this one, because you get 18 eyeshadows that all are very different from each other. So this is not a palette where you're going to get lots of very similar shades and you're not going to get that much use out of them. You get lots of very different tones in this palette. It's not a wearable palette though, so this is not a palette that you can just pick up and wear to work every single day. Well, you can probably use the mattes. However, most of this are shimmer duochromes, so it's more of a fun palette, shall I say, but for sure my number one this year. Every single time I've used a shade from the Pat McGrath palette, I have been immensely happy because the payoff is incredible. You know, you just need one swipe and you've got this very strong payoff. You don't have to keep building and building and building. The mattes are also really amazing. They are quite interesting. I haven't tried her matte formula before, but I've really enjoyed the matte formula. That mahogany shade, whew, and that violet shade is probably one of the best matte purple shades I've come across in a very long time, is this shade right here, the Pat McGrath.